Hello. I just finished my second Zoom meeting, and I had a short one yesterday, and then scheduled another one for this morning at 10:30 our time. And I knew that I had gotten the email in the invites late. I only did it about an hour before the meeting started, so I was pretty sure I wouldn't have any participants today. I had one participant yesterday. For the most part, I had a lesson planned for yesterday and today. I was going to do the same lesson plan. And for the most part, yesterday I just answered questions. That's the thing about with the Zoom meetings, the way they'll be set up. I will always have a backup plan, a lesson planned for the meetings. But if the participants want to go in a completely different direction, that'll be great. I will be here to answer questions that I can. I won't have all the answers, but the great thing about it is if I'm asked, okay, how many points on the blue plan is this particular food, I'll have my phone right here in my hand. And so I'll be able to answer it. And with the Zoom meetings, you can, especially if you do it on your computer. I'm not 100% sure you can do it on your phone or your tablet, but I know you can do it on your computer. You can record it. And so today that's what I did. It's pretty rough, and I'm going to try and post quite a bit of it with this video. The video I'm making right now was made probably about 45 minutes after I finished the meeting. I'm just sort of giving you a heads up on what's about to happen. It's going to look a little strange because I'm just going to be in one little bitty postage stamp size of the top part of the screen, but you will hear my voice for the most part. I hope you enjoy it. My goal for today's meeting was to go over meats that I eat and have been eating pretty much for the last 6 years. And I did a spreadsheet of the different kinds of meats that we eat and the amounts, the calories, and what their points are on Weight Watchers, the purple, blue, and green plan. This was just something I had in mind to do as a lesson plan today on my Zoom meeting. And welcome to the Weightless Zoom meeting sponsored by Mima McLiving Healthy. Today, I don't have any participants so far. I did this same meeting yesterday and did have one participant. And so I thought, well, I will make a recording of this today and then perhaps put it on my YouTube channel to sort of give everybody an idea of what the Zoom meetings are about. Now, they're a whole lot better when you have more people, because right now somebody could be talking and asking me questions as I go over the spreadsheet that is here. And I've got to remember this. I can go over the spreadsheet and point things out a whole lot better with my cursor than I can with my hand. My hand does not show up on the screen. So let's just go over a couple of points that I wanted to make today. Basically, these are the 11 meats that I purchase and cook pretty often. And as you can see, we had the boneless, skinless chicken breast on Tuesday night. Now, I don't just saute a chicken breast. I add it to a recipe that I do. And at the age that I am, I try to do as simple recipes as possible. But as you can see, there is 11 different kinds of meat. Now, 2 of them are lunchtime meats, but the rest of them are what I consider evening meals. I call it supper. So that's what I will, when I refer to supper, I'm talking about our evening meal. When I refer to lunch, I'm talking about our noontime meal. So the boneless, skinless chicken breast. I usually will eat about 4 ounces. That will be 185 calories. And on the purple and blue plan of Weight Watchers, it's 0 smart points. On the green plan, it's 3 smart points. Now that is probably, we will have at least 2 to 3 servings of some kind of chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast each week if we are at home, and especially since we've been doing the stay-at-home order, we've been having it quite often. Now let's see, I want to show you, I took a picture of it the other night when I did it, and let's see if I can go right to it. Here we go, and this was, I'm still doing it that way. This was what we had for supper on Tuesday night of this week. As you can see, it is cubed bite-sized chicken that has been sauteed separate from all the vegetables. The vegetables include onion, bell pepper, mushrooms, and in this particular instance, I added a can of Le Sueur baby sweet carrots. I guess it'll be 25 minutes to prepare because of the chicken. You am sauteing the chicken the same time that I am preparing all the vegetables. And with this, with the plan that I'm on, the chicken goulash with carrots is 2 smart points per serving on the blue plan. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the calories added up for this, but I do know if you have 4 ounces of the boneless, skinless chicken sauteed like this, it is 185 calories. Hopefully, the more that I do this, the more organized I will be, and I'll be able to break down everything into calories also. But right now, for today, I do have the calories for the meat. I do not have the calories for anything else that is in the recipes that I make. So that's what we had Tuesday night. Now, Monday night, we had what I call turkey tacos. This is ground turkey. Now, normally, let's go back to the spreadsheet for just a second. Still pretty slow on this. Normally, I would have the Butterball Farm to Family all natural ground turkey. It doesn't have the fat content listed on it, but if it doesn't, then it is probably 99%. I don't know. Once I scan it, it always comes up as 0 smart points. There is the Farm to Family that has a fat content listed on it, and I want to think that it's 93 or 95. That is going to have points. But the one that doesn't have it, and when you scan it and it says 0 points, that's what it is. It's 120 calories per serving, 0 on purple and blue, 1 point on the green plan. Now that's what I normally would be preparing, but because of the stay-at-home order, I've not been able to find this at the grocery store where I shop right now. So this is what I have been buying, and this is what the picture that you just saw was made with the 93.7. That's all I can find at my local grocery store. So this is 93 lean, 7% fat, 4 ounces, which is a typical serving. Sometimes when I make these one dish meals, I probably don't have 4 ounces, but I count it as 4 ounces because I would rather err on the plus size of using points or calories
other than not counting enough and then wondering where those points ended up if I were to gain weight. So 4 ounces of it is 150 calories. It is on the purple and blue plan. It is 3 smart points. Now this is the one that I could not find what the green plan is. I am taking a page from up here where it is 1 point more. I would think it's at least 1 point more and maybe 2. So I would say it's probably 4 or 5 smart points per serving on the green plan. And I only get it when I can't find the lower fat. But that's what, let's see if I can get back over there. But this was what we had. Now, it also had black beans mixed in with it. If you can see, it's got onion. In this particular one, I used a packet of Food Club taco seasoning mix, mild, a cup of water. There's sauteed onions that I saute right after I get through browning the hamburger meat. And then I usually put about a half a can of black beans in it. But it is still, at the very most, it's 4 smart points, because sometimes when I start, I will do 2 sprays of the Evo olive oil. And when I say Evo, that is the container that I put my olive oil in, and with each spray, it's 1/4 of a teaspoon of olive oil. So I feel like that if I do a half a teaspoon, I do count it as 1 point. So the most that this would have been when we had this Monday night was 4 smart points. Now, once again, I do not have the calories figured for the vegetables that have been added, the black beans, the onions, or even the olive oil. I do not have that figured in. And hopefully I'll get better at this, but for my first try, I thought it's okay. You know, I'm doing all right here. Gonna try to get and show you a couple of other pictures of some of the ways that I make chicken. This is sauteed chicken with G. Hughes, about 2 tablespoons of G. Hughes hickory barbecue sauce. G. Hughes has no points until you get to 4 tablespoons. So this would have been basically the only thing that you would have paid points for on my blue plan is this sweet potato here. The black-eyed peas are 0 on the blue plan. I think you do have to count them on the green plan, but I'm not sure. I will do a video on vegetables and try to get all that information as I do that, and try to, from probably all the way back to 2014, I began to take pictures of what I prepared to eat or what I was eating if we were in a restaurant, not just to use on something like this. I did it basically because I don't have a good memory anymore. And so if I wasn't able to track while I was eating, I would take a picture of it and look at it later so that when I did track, I could put down what I was doing. That I also will do it like this. This is chicken tenders that I have stewed and shredded and mix them with salsa. This is basically just pace, picante sauce or pace salsa. And that is 0 smart points on the blue plan. Probably one of the parts of the series are going to be condiments. And so I will figure out how much the calories will be for this salsa or picante sauce. But on the blue plan, the taco sauce or the picante sauce is 0. So this is a great meal. If you don't have any points at the end of the day, it's 0 points. So that's another way that I can have the boneless, skinless chicken. We'll go on to the third list, the third thing on my list, which is salmon. I buy 2 different kinds of salmon. Now, most of the time, I prefer to have Atlantic salmon, but especially in these last few months, all I've been able to find is the sockeye salmon, and that's what this is right here. Now, with the sockeye salmon, give me just a second to look on my list. For 4 ounces of the sockeye salmon, it's 175 calories. 0 smart points on the blue and purple plan, and 3 smart points on the green plan. Now, if I do find the Atlantic salmon, and this was interesting when I was setting up this spreadsheet that I did, I assumed that they were very similar in calories and points. They are not. When I eat 4 ounces of the Atlantic salmon, it's 204 calories. That is almost 30 calories more than what the sockeye salmon is. Now, on the purple and blue plan, it is still 0 smart points, but on the green plan, instead of 3 smart points like the sockeye salmon is, it is 5 smart points per serving. But this meal right here, the corn on the cob, the 4 ounces of the sockeye salmon, and this looks like, I don't remember exactly, but this looks like that I probably sauteed it. Possibly it is baked with the chupacabra on top. And then I had about 1/4 of a cup of grape tomatoes. A lot of times I'll have either carrots or sweet potatoes with this. Obviously this night I didn't have that, and so this is what I ate. And for this right here, it is 0 smart points. And it probably is no more than 250 to 300 calories, because I don't think that amount of grape tomatoes is going to be more than 20 calories, and I don't think that the corn on the cob is going to be more than 50. By the way, whenever you see these vegetables, the corn on the cob, the sweet potatoes, the only thing, and I'm stressing this, the only thing that is added to these vegetables is a little bit of seasoning, mainly a little bit of salt. I do not add butter. I do not add sugar. I have found out that I like it just as much without the butter. It's amazing. I had myself fooled all those years that I had to have some kind of condiment on my vegetables, and I really didn't. I'm not sure I have pictures of these other things that I eat. Now, we're going to go to number 5. This is the Butterball Everyday Hardwood Smoked Turkey Sausage. Now, what I use this for, I should have taken a picture of it. I didn't, and I hate that I didn't, because it comes in 2 long sausage links. And when I say links, I mean they are probably a good 8 inches long, and they're bigger around than a hot dog, a little bit bigger around, but they're turkey. So they don't have near the points that a normal beef or pork sausage would have. I eat 2 ounces. 2 ounces is plenty. That is about the size of a hot dog. And so I would eat 2 ounces. That's 100 calories. And for all 3 plans here, it's 3 smart points. Now, where I will use this turkey sausage, it's not just to replace hot dogs, which I do. I use it to replace hot dogs. But it also, I use it in my goulash. So instead of the boneless, skinless chicken, I'll put the Butterball turkey sausage. But it's really good. It gives it a little bit of a kick. And we actually had this a couple of weeks ago. I didn't have any boneless, skinless chicken at the time. And so this lasts quite a bit longer in my refrigerator than boneless, skinless chicken will. So I made that. Now, before the stay-at-home order, I was able to find this Butterball Everyday All Natural Turkey Burger Patties. Each patty is 4 ounces. They're 150 calories, and they are 3 Smart Points. All 3 of these. Normally we grill it. That is, make a little breadless hamburger. Sort of like a hamburger steak, I guess you'd call it, with a little bit of condiments of some sort and maybe an onion and some kind of side. But this is what it is, just the meat. All right, now we get to the Cook's ham steak, which I made this over the weekend. Now, as you are about to see, it is higher in points. It's not any higher in points than the chicken and the salmon. Amazingly, I was amazed about this. You know, when I made out this spreadsheet, it really was an eye-opener for me of how points can differ so much from calories. But for 4 ounces of the ham steak, which is a good piece of ham, 174 calories, and all 3 are 5 Smart Points for all 3 plans. Now that's a little heftier of Smart Points, but that's okay. My goal each day is to stay somewhere around 10 points per meal. I'm not counting breakfast. I try to have a very low breakfast so that I can have a 10-point lunch or somewhere close to 10 points and a 10 to 12-point supper. So 5 points would be half of what my supper was going to be. But it, just like I showed earlier, the beans are 0, the corn on the cob are 0, but sweet potato does have points. So I have to remember that when I have it. I do have a picture, but this is the ham. I have obviously cut it up, but that's about 4 ounces. I had some of my grape tomatoes, a piece of corn on the cob, and this looks like it's a little more than a half of a medium. This is probably a medium, so that would be 4 points. So we would be talking 5 for the ham, 4 for the sweet potatoes, and then 0 and 0. That would be 9 points on the blue and purple plan. I don't know what it is for the green plan because I don't know how much. I'm pretty sure that corn on the cob is at least 2 points on the green plan. And I think a sweet potato is probably going to be at least 4 because that's what it is, even with me when I eat a medium one. So that was the ham. Now, this is something toward beef. I eat very little beef, but I still have the guilty pleasure. And when I was making this up, I thought, hey, this is not as bad as the ham, and we eat the ham at least twice a month. But one reason that we eat this Cook's ham steak, it will last quite a bit longer in the refrigerator also, and especially during this time where we've been staying at home so much. I had to revert to some meats that I normally would not have eaten, and or not as much, because I know we've had this in the last 6 weeks. We've had it 3 times, at least. I think that's correct, 3 times. And with this, we've had it once. But this is, if you have ever been one to buy a couple of filet mignons at the grocery store, you will notice that they are normally somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 ounces a piece. Well, that's not what I eat. I half it. We used to, when we first started on Weight Watchers, we physically cut them in half in their thickness. Now I will cut it in after it is, since my husband is no longer actively on Weight Watchers, he doesn't want to cut his in half like that anymore. It's understandable. So, excuse me. So what I do is I look at the steak and I try to cut it in half, and then I will weigh it on my food scale. And if it's close to 4 ounces, I won't mess with it. You know, if it's 3.5, that's fine. But if it gets to 5 ounces, I will cut a little bit more off. But as you can see, the points went down from the ham, but the calories went up. This is the highest calorie food that I eat. And we only have it maybe once a month, but it's 4 smart points. And we normally grill it, but we also cook it in the skillet with just a little bit of olive oil, which might add 1 point to it. I don't have a picture of this that I could find. I know I've taken pictures of it before, but I couldn't find it this morning. These two right here are lunchtime menu things that we eat. We also eat a chicken that is same as the mesquite turkey toward points. And I imagine that the calories are quite similar to these two. But I am a big Ole tortilla eater. And I have really missed it because I have found it a couple of times during all of this stay at home, but nothing like I used to get it. I mean, I used to, I would buy it once a week, and I would eat lunch with nearly every day that we ate lunch at home. So I'm going to go over this top one. If you notice, the Boar's Head maple glazed honey coat cured turkey breast. Now that's a mouthful. It does have 1 point, but it's only 70 calories with just 10 calories more than the mesquite. But I found out that I like the mesquite wood smoked as much as I do the maple glazed. And so I switched over to this, and it's 0 points for the blue and purple plan and 1 smart point for the green plan. Oops. Trying to do 2 things at the same time, and I'm not very good at it. But okay, let's go back to this and see if I can get it to come up. There we go. And this is the 2 ounces of the Boar's Head mesquite turkey, an Ole tomato basil tortilla wrap, plus 2 teaspoons of mustard. Now, I will also make this with 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of Food Club honey mustard or French's honey mustard. That will add 1 point to it. But most of the time, I found out that I actually like the tanginess of mustard just as much. So 2 ounces of the Boar's Head mesquite turkey. I also got lucky one time and found the poppables. I'm big on these Lay's poppables, and if you can find a package of them, they're 3 smart points per package. What I do now, since I can't find these packages anymore, is I will divide them up into 20 of the little chips or whatever you want to call it, and 20 of them is only 2 smart points. This is 30, so it's 3 smart points. And I have the 1/4 of a cup of grape tomatoes, it's 0. And it's a total, this plate is a total of 4 smart points. On the blue plan, I believe it is on the purple plan. Now it will be more than that on the green plan, but I don't have the whole plans figured right now. Hopefully after I do all these series, I can come back and reword this and give you not just the smart points for the blue or the purple plan, but for the green plan also, and also the calories. That's my hope that I'll be able to do that later. Well, okay, now let's see if I can get back to me. Hey, I did it. That's pretty much all I had to talk about today. Now, I've taken up a lot of time. I am more than likely going to edit this down and it will probably be sort of piecey looking. Hopefully it will be good enough to where the viewers on YouTube can glean what they need to from it. The one wonderful thing about if I had participants right now, they could be asking me questions. You could be hearing them ask the questions, and it might be a question you might have. So if we do this, I'm hoping to continue and do the 5-part series on Zoom. And I hope by the time that I get through with it, that I'll have some people participating other than just that one that did yesterday.
Well, that's the video. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and leave a comment about it below. You know, this is I'm just doing some trial and error here, trying to find out what the viewers want. That's all I can do, is try different aspects of losing weight, struggling to lose weight, or whatever questions that you might have. I hope you have a wonderful week. Goodbye.